Robbie, will you lead us in prayer?
Let's pray. Most kind, gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this day and all the many blessings of life that you bestowed upon us all. God, we just pray that you'll be with each and every one of these commissioners as they serve the district in which they're serving. And God, not only that, but that we all serve this county as we're so chosen to do. We thank you for each and everything that you blessed us with. For it's in Jesus Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Jeremy, lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Greg Brooks.
Here.
Debbie Davis.
Here.
Bill. Judy Escon.
Here.
Mark Evans.
Here.
John Kissinger.
Here.
Stephen Trentham. James Whitty.
Here.
I think the only thing on the agenda tonight is the sanitation. So, I guess Robbie will kick it off with what we've got going on.
The sanitation committee has met quite a few times the last couple of weeks. So they had one committee meeting just a little while ago. And so with that, they wanted to move forward with the recommendation that came by way of a motion from Commissioner Espinoff, second by Commissioner Pippinger. It was voted on 5-0 to move forward with universal waste to be the county's provider for service. If this does pass, there's a resolution that would need to be read off, and we would move forward and work through towards our agreement with Universal Waste to be a provider for the county's sanitation.
And you don't have a resolution for Universal tonight, correct?
No, I do have.
Oh, you do have?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to accept Universal as our county provider.
Got a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Dewey, second by Pippinger. Roll call. Or discussion. Now, what we do first? Roll
Well,
call.
usually we have the resolution ready before we make a motion, but we.
I don't think we're voting on the resolution either.
Well, that's what, did you say you had the resolution tonight?
Yeah, he said he did.
That's what I thought. That's what I was.
So, do we want
So we need to vote on that and the resolution separate.
a good time today? Bring something to me. Really? I thought you got it, you took it back with you. You said you didn't have.
You could.
He took it back because he said he didn't make copies. Okay, Robbie, I'm looking.
Equipment. That's equipment, they don't make it. That's basic, everything, solid
I
waste
don't have it.
collection.
Maybe John Hoyt's got it.
I'm laying down there and whenever I
Okay.
have to do something.
Universal Waste, right here's one.
There it
Yes,
is.
that's for your call. Your provider.
And that's the one we're on right now, right?
Yes, sir.
So that'll be 10-1, resolution
Resolution
10-1.
10-1, if you go through that one first.
It's 10-1-19.
Okay, do I need to read this one then? Okay, a resolution awarding the solid waste collection and disposal services bid for Iowa Polk County to Universal Waste subject to final approval of the contract by the Polk County Commission. Whereas Polk County, Tennessee submitted a public notice requesting bids for solid waste collection and disposal services for the convenience centers in Polk County. Whereas Universal Waste was the only company to submit a bid to provide solid waste collection and disposal services for all the convenience centers in Polk County. Whereas Universal Waste was the lowest and best bidder to provide solid waste collection and disposable services for the convenience centers located in Polk County. Whereas during the Sanitation Committee meeting held on September the 30th, 2019, Polk County Sanitation Committee reviewed all the bids submitted, determined that it would be best for the county to select one company to provide solid waste collection and disposable services for all of Polk County, instead of having one company in East Polk and different company in West Polk, and recommended that the Polk County Commission award the solid waste collection and disposal services bid for all of Polk County to Universal Waste. Whereas upon review of the bids submitted and the recommendation of the Sanitation Committee, the Polk County Commission deems it will be the best interest of the county to have one company that will provide solid waste collection, disposable services for all of Polk County, and approves the recommendation of the Sanitation Committee. Now therefore it be resolved by the legislative body in session assembled that the solid waste collection and disposable services bid for all of Polk County is awarded to Universal Waste, subject to final approval by the contract by the Polk County Commission. Be it further resolved that the resolution take effect, blah, blah. So, now,
Make a motion to
Make
approve
a
the
motion.
resolution.
I'll second the motion.
all right. Discussion. Any discussion?
We beat this thing half to death.
Yeah, I think we're about discussed it out the door.
So it's
No
resolution
discussion.
10-1, I think. Oh, man.
Roll call.
Craig Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Dewey Estimont.
Yes.
Jeremy Kimsey.
Yes.
John Pippinger.
Yes.
James Whitty.
Yes.
6 yes.
That
And then also coming from your committee that met, there's the resolution with entering into this, that the county is going to purchase its own equipment. And the two providers that turned in a bid, Baker Waste was the one that came in at the cheaper, as well as they met all the specifications that was spec'd out for the county. And so by recommendation of the committee, that's the resolution for Baker Waste equipment.
I make a motion we contract Baker with providing the equipment.
Second.
motion made by James, second by Craig.
Great.
We need to read the resolution.
Yeah.
Do you want to read it, Robbie? Go ahead. A resolution awarding the convenience center equipment bid for all of the convenience centers located in Polk County to Baker Waste Equipment Incorporated. Approving and authorizing the purchase of the convenience center equipment, authorizing the county executive to execute on behalf of Polk County all documents necessary to carry out the intent of this resolution. Whereas the Polk County Commission previously determined that it would be in the best interest of the county to purchase its own equipment for the convenience centers located in Polk County. Whereas Polk County, Tennessee submitted a public notice requesting bids for the equipment necessary to operate the convenience centers located in Polk County. Whereas Baker's Waste Equipment was the only company to submit a bid that conformed to the specifications in the bid request. The bid amounts of Baker Waste Equipment Incorporated for the equipment for each convenience center are identified in Exhibit A attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference. Whereas Baker Waste Equipment Incorporated was the lowest and best bidder. Whereas during the Sanitation Committee meeting held on September the 30th, 2019, Polk County Sanitation Committee reviewed all the bids submitted and recommended that Polk County Commission award the convenience center equipment bid to Baker Waste Equipment Incorporated. Whereas upon review of the bids submitted and the recommendation of the sanitation committee, the Polk County Commission approves the recommendation of the sanitation committee. Now therefore it be resolved by the legislative body in the session assembled that, one, the convenience center equipment bid for all the convenience centers located in Polk County is awarded to Baker Waste Equipment. Two, the purchase of the convenience center equipment is approved and authorized. Three, the county executive is to authorize and execute on behalf of Polk County all documents necessary to carry out the intent of this resolution. Now,
Well, you've got the motion and second already
Yeah.
on this one.
so, we got any more discussions?
That included 2 extra units for both compactor and the fruit brush, right?
2 extra boxes, yes, that's 2 extra pre-crushed boxers and 2 extra regular 40-yard boxers for the compactors.
And
Well, that's gonna
the,
wind up more equipment in the county than we had.
and the addition of the load to dump in.
The hoppers, yes, that was for the fabrication of the hoppers, in which the cities use right now, so.
All right.
All right, we're ready for roll call?
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Dewey Estimate.
Yes.
Jeremy Kinsey.
Yes.
John Pippinger.
Yes.
And James Whitting.
Yes.
6 yes.
All right, got anything else on that, or where are we at?
Discussion.
Was there anything else, Patrice, on
That's discussion.
any of that? That'll take care of it on our part, correct?
Announcements.
Do you need any kind of motion to proceed with Meadow Branch with the,
Yes, thank you, John, that is correct. I do need a motion and a second to move forward with to bring back before the commission on the 24th, our actual contract and resolution with Meadow Branch.
I'll make a
That'll be who
motion.
we.
I'll make a motion to ask the county executive to execute a document with Meadow Branch not to exceed 22.24 per ton, including a CPI separate from that, for the next commission meeting.
I'll second
Motion made by Pippinger, second by Dewey.
Yeah.
Roll call.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Dewey Estimate.
Yes.
Jeremy Kinsey.
Yes.
John Pippinger.
Yes.
And James Whitting.
Yes.
6 yes.
County executive, you need a motion to authorize you to take out the RFPs for the work location buildings and structures.
If you all want to issue those right now, since that is part of sanitation, and we will get those out, as well as the committee recommended, to talk to the providers now about the possibility of
Right.
purchasing those buildings that are there, whichever ones, if this commission would so move for the RFPs or the best pricing, and would give me the authority to do that. And that way, if it's to buy those houses that are sitting there now, or to turn out the RFPs and get those spec'd out. As I said in the meeting, 8x8s, 8x10s, and 8x12s.
I'll make a motion to authorize the county executive and request him to get prices from the current provider at sanitation for building locations. This would be the 8x8, 8x10 buildings for the employees to use, or to take out RFPs for whatever size he deems appropriate.
I'll second it.
Motion by John, second by Dewey. Roll call.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Dewey Estimate.
Yes.
Jeremy Kinsey.
Yes.
John Pippinger.
Yes.
And James Whitting.
Yes.
6 yes.
Last and least, a motion to move forward with a loan application through the Tennessee Municipal Bond Fund, as was presented forth in the committee meeting, and I will have those resolutions in the next meeting with a simple motion and second to move forward in that for a 10-year note to come back before this committee on the 24th.
I make a motion to proceed with a 10-year note from the Tennessee Municipal Bond Loan Program, be presented to the county commission at the next commission meeting.
I'll second that if you amend it to include no prepayment penalty.
Well, he had, yes, and I do amend the motion to include no prepaid penalty.
Then I second.
Motion by John, second by Dewey. Is that the roll call?
Yep.
Roll call.
Craig Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Dewey Estimont.
Yes.
Jeremy Kinsey.
Yes.
Sean Kipinger.
Yes.
And James Whitting.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, any more discussion on this?
I've got some, I just, for y'all, the previous providers, we bid this out, and y'all submitted a bid, right at 40% increase, and y'all seen the pain, y'all are aware of our financial situation. You know, we were even at the point we thought we'd have to consider it, but we made a good faith effort to try to rebid and save more money for the county some way. We asked y'all to come back with something just to work with us, and you don't have to do it, but I would like for y'all to give us six and every citizen of our county an explanation why y'all's second bid was an increase over the first one. For no, I mean, why did y'all do that?
We'll make a statement to the mayor.
So y'all gonna say nothing in an open meeting with the
I don't.
newspaper here?
I don't think I do.
I don't think there's much can be said. You got anything you'd like to say?
No, I'm good.
Okay. He'll be glad to take y'all's remarks too after the meeting, I'm sure if you have any.
I don't have the remarks.
Can't say it, like, anything else?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Wait a minute, hold on. I think, Roy Jean, I think, had something that he wanted to try to pass this out real quick or go over something real quick.
Real quick, just gonna get
Okay.
it because get you all together in one spot. I know that I'm not part of the agenda.
Yeah, well,
but just
we're
gonna get-
okay.
I'll have them file like a really good one.
Oh,
What it's about.
thank you, sir.
I appreciate any input that you may have on this. It may not be in your district. If you want a copy there.
Okay, just to kind of fill everybody sort of kind of in on this a little bit, Roy Jean, do you want to just kind of highlight it real quick to,
Well, just to kind of go over it real quick, and I'm not going to, like I said, I don't want to take up a lot of your time because this is a special call meeting. But what this has entail about is the water line extension on Dentville, Stone, County Road, and there has been some time gone by since they've started, and it's still not finished. But that's not the issue. The issue was a lot of things that has been done over the period of time, delays, open cuts that have not been finished. And there was I think at one point the contractor wasn't out there for a month.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
this started back in July.
yeah.
The red light went up on the bridge July 25th. I have that date. And it's still there. They're still not finished. I've called and spoke, verbally with, different representatives. Nice people. I ain't got no problem with that, but they're, somehow it's gotten out of hand.
They've started
And-
passing the buck around. I mean, I've talked to them too, and we can't get straight answers and the same answers.
Spoke with GRW Engineering, and they kind of have the same reasoning and excuses, if you want to call it excuses. I don't know. But basically, they're saying that they're talking to an official, and the official's saying that everything's just fine. Well, this letter is telling you that it ain't fine.
Yeah,
It needs some things, either need to be addressed, fixed. Dirt piled up in the road, about 2 or 3 feet in the road, and it'd be there for, several weeks, even went through a rain. And I've talked with that water utility about it, And it finally got kicked in gear, and they got it cleaned up a little bit, but it took a while. There's another project on Welcome Valley, and, you know, they're tearing up, you know, they're tearing the ground up, and they're moving things around, but they're dressing it up, and it's almost finished.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
they
went
started in
through
half
that.
the time.
Is
Right.
that water or sewer going through?
It's water. So, this is a letter that I've shared with Eric Brooks. He's reviewing it, and I'd like some input from the commission if they have any concerns here in reading it. I feel like it, you know, I may want to still proofread it some more, but I feel like I'm pretty well explaining to the point at where we are. I told the engineer today that I felt like, you know, that it wasn't where it should be, and that they don't have inspectors out there checking. He assured me that they had an inspector, and I said, I've not seen him yet, if you've got one, or he or she. I said, I've not seen the inspector, and I spoke with the inspector, and he said they didn't need an inspector, and I said, well, evidently it needs a little more direction than what it's getting. And he didn't know that they were out there today working. And he told me, you know, that, you know, well, he didn't know they were working. I said, well, you don't have an inspector, how do you know?
How do you know? Right.
So, it's
This
been a debate back and forth. The main engineer's not there no more. He's been gone for 2 weeks. The other lady that I had correspondence with, she's not there anymore. So, in my letter, we need to know a change of command here, so we have someone to, you know, communicate with.
Yeah. Yeah, this is, well, and in my opinion, this is what happens if you don't put a little pressure on these people that is supposedly in charge. They come into a county like ours where we don't enforce what restrictions that we have, and they just feel like they don't have to answer to us. And they don't have to answer to anybody. They do it when they get darn good and ready. Like Roy said, I was a month there, they didn't even touch the project. But yet they had dirt piled out in our roads. They've had a bridge where it down to one lane. They didn't even put restriction signs up telling that this bridge was down to one lane. So if you went through there with a load of hay hanging out every which way, screen glued and tattoo, no way to turn around. I mean, they've treated us very badly with this job.
It's not my project.
Yeah.
I do have say-so, but it's not my project. The responsibility lies on the utility provider and the contractor and engineer.
Yeah.
So it's their responsibility to meet our, permit.
Yeah.
It's their responsibility to make sure that the project is a success. That's on their back, not mine.
Right.
You know, I just want to make sure they don't,
Yeah.
mess the roads up any worse. than
Right,
they
and then when you start, when I called and first complained about it, well, they were very nice that time. Second time got a little not so nice. Third time wasn't nice at all. And then I said, okay, we're gonna, something's gonna have to be done. I mean, I'm not wanting to be ugly here, but the time has come to where you need to get the project finished. And they just, and then, like I say, I told him, I said, our road superintendent has been over backwards to try to work with you people, and you've not given him any respect either.
That's true.
So,
I
that's,
have.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
just for the benefit of the
anyway.
people out there, I know
And-
that there's some that.
And so we just, so anyway, if anybody else got anything they'd like to say and input with it, but,
I can say that John Burris himself was in my office, and he did say that it was approved, like, of the open cuts. So that did come from him in my office when we had that RFP open. And he did say that it was approved to do those open cuts.
yeah, well.
But
there-
one.
Yeah.
No, he said that, I mean, that,
All of them but one.
well, but he was saying whenever he measured it out, in my office, if I'd had it audioed, I could prove it. He came before me and said that all open cuts and hanging on the bridge whenever they did bid that out, so that's what he did.
Well, and of course, now I don't know, because I don't know the paperwork involved in it, and my gripe is, I'm not griping about what they had to do.
Right.
My gripe is how long it took them to do it. And there was days that the flagger would have to climb out of the ditch to run out to stop the traffic. He was a ditch worker and a flagger. Yeah, and I mean, and that's one time coming around that steep curve there, you was on top of it, and he was like, woo, I mean, it was a circus on different occasions. So, I mean, like I say, I'm not disputing the facts, and the open cuts is no big deal on my part. I don't know what's supposed to be approved through the superintendent or not, but it's, don't leave them ditches for months.
It's the length of time they were open.
Yeah, yeah.
It was dry weather and the traffic were beating it out.
Yeah.
And I explained to the utility provider as well, that if he's gonna do that and leave them open, then he needs to maintain them every week.
Right,
Don't just
right.
leave them for.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
big deal.
And that was another thing, whenever they bid it, when the original bid that came back was, in that meeting, he said that the reason this cost has gone down was because of being able to do open cut.
Yeah, the open cuts is fine.
It's not, but,
They're fine to open cut, it's just, they need to address
They just need to keep them dressed up, right? I mean, I busted the grill out of my car on one of them. I mean, that was the dumb threat. But anyway, all right, well, meeting adjourned, and just get back with us, Roy, on, anything else that we need to come up with.
Since I got ready to take one.
Yeah.
Take care.